Once a fragile country achieves some form of political functionality and security for its people, the hard work of economic development can begin. In the Caribbean country of Haiti, a perpetually struggling place, there were signs that this was beginning to happen, just before the devastating earthquake. In a small garment factory in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, last November, a class of new recruits was being taught how to lockstitch. This initiative was funded with U.S. government dollars and represented a significant rethink of foreign aid, harnessing the potential of the private sector alongside more traditional humanitarian assistance. 20-year-old Rosaline Menord never went to school and can't read, but she was hoping a job in Haiti's garment industry would change her life and improve her country, too.
I like what they're teaching us, what they're doing, and I hope they can keep doing it for a long time because there are a lot of young people on the streets without jobs.
For the first time in years, there was a palpable feeling of hope here, centered around this industrial park, where factories mothballed during years of instability were being brought back to life. The goal was to create tens of thousands of jobs as fast as possible. These developments were only made possible by a remarkable turnaround in Haiti's political and security environment. In 2006, the election of President René Préval reduced political strife and brought in a series of reforms. With Préval's blessing, a United Nations peacekeeping force already in the country resolved to get tough on gang violence that had spun out of control. Within months, the urban warfare had largely stopped. Haiti's population has mostly accepted the peacekeepers.
It's the poorest area of Port-au-Prince.
Especially the Brazilians, who still patrol the slum of Cité Soleil, which just a few years ago was perhaps the most dangerous place in the Western Hemisphere.
Haiti is no longer the place where people are kidnapped by the score every month. It is no longer a place where armed people drive around in vehicles shooting up the town.
U.S. Ambassador Kenneth Merton is back in Haiti for the third time in his diplomatic career. He says U.S. government policy underwent a rethink in light of Haiti's progress.
We've gone through periods where we have pulled back in our dealings with the Haitian government. That is to say, we have chosen not to deal with the Haitian government, chose to work around the Haitian government. That is not our policy now. We need a partner here to work with, and that partner can't only be other NGOs. It needs to be the Haitian state.
Even before the earthquake, the task of rebuilding Haiti was undeniably huge. It is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. More than half its people live on just $1 a day. Public services like health care and a free education are almost non-existent.
Somebody said that we would just want to get out of misery to get into poverty. And I believe that's a beautiful sentence for Haiti, because it's exactly what we are aiming for right now.
Jean-Max Bellerive is Haiti's prime minister.
When you have a country where 70% of the people are not working, the capacity to increase your internal revenue is almost zero. I believe creating an environment to create jobs is my main concern as a prime minister today. Attracting new investors coming from Haiti or coming from abroad, but mainly creating jobs, creating a better environment for investment. From there, I believe you can tackle all the problems.
And so, as part of its new initiative to partner with Haiti's government and spur the return of investors, the United States Congress in 2008 passed what is called the HOPE Act. It allows garments assembled in Haiti to be sold duty-free in the U.S. Before the earthquake, the HOPE legislation was keeping Haitian businessman George Sassine busy.
Wait for me in Mr. Oscar's office.
He owns a garment factory and is the official local point person for this new investment. And his phones didn't stop ringing, even during our interview last November.
We have 5 different people who have 5 different potential industrial park sites. So I have to be like a dispatcher. Investors from Brazil, from Ireland, and from Korea, coming one after the other. So it's been very hectic, believe me. But it's a good problem to have.
George Sassine was in Miami at the time of the earthquake and quickly got home to Haiti to get the garment factories back into operation within days. Now the sector is seen as being a key component to Haiti's recovery, and the job creation targets have been tripled. But even if the garment industry can get Haiti's economy back on track, A full recovery cannot be complete without addressing the needs of the 60% of Haiti's population living in the countryside. They risk being left out as investment and aid money gets funneled into the city. A problem before the earthquake, it has been exacerbated by the estimated 600,000 people who have evacuated Port-au-Prince for their rural hometowns.
It could be important for the international community and the government to negotiate or to give more priority to more sustainable job creation.
Yolette Etienne is a longtime grassroots organizer in Haiti.
If we don't try to attract resources towards the rural area, we won't be able to manage the situation in this country. We won't be able to create richness in this country.
Etienne feels that jobs in the countryside might also help keep the population from returning to miserable city slums.
The first round of a foreign investment in Haiti was in the 60s. And that was really influenced a lot the migration in this country. And that created Cité Soleil in these abject conditions. If we repeat the same things, we'll get the same result.
Bye-bye.
These same debates about development that were underway before the earthquake have taken on new urgency in the aftermath of the disaster. Despite fears, the earthquake has so far not plunged Haiti back into significant violence or instability. In a world that is quickly shrinking, fragile states such as the DR Congo, East Timor, Bosnia, and Haiti have a global impact that is becoming clearer. Beyond the spillover effects of violence and economic devastation, fragile states provide a vast staging ground for international crime and other global threats. Unsecured borders are porous, and the weak infrastructures of fragile states provide ideal breeding grounds for terrorism and illicit trafficking in weapons, drugs, and human beings. As the international community gains a better understanding of the relationship between fragile states and global security, it must seek to address the root causes of fragility, most of which can be traced to marginalization and a lack of development. Louise Arbour says the best signs that a country might be moving away from the precipice of failure are often not the first we might assume.
We've historically looked at security in a very kind of traditional and maybe too narrow focus, a very sort of military approach to security. But it seems to me that what we need to look at, it's very ambitious, but I think we're there, is look at other indicators of real human security. You know, are girls returning to school? Are women safe in their communities? Is civil society occupying some space? Because that's the test, huh? It's the security of the people.